I'm going to go over a ticker that many people are tracking, including trader Marat. He says that he would love to see Nvda over 160, and if it gets to that point, he's going to sell 1/5 of his position. So I thought it would be a great time to take a look at this. We ended the day at 141.95, down 3.22%. Let me give you some price targets for Monday. And the middle of the trend would take us to roughly 143.26, and another level of resistance and a potential take profit area after that includes 146.41, 148.01, and I do not anticipate it to get to 149.60, but if it does, you can bet people will take their profits and they will run, they will lock in, and they will leave just like they did here. Never expect price to get to 4 standard deviations in one trading day if you're down at the middle of the trend. And then if it does, it's going to crash. See, that wick took us all the way back down. And that was all on Thursday. And that's when he told me that that's what he was going to do if and when Nvda hits his target price. And that target price, I'll flip it over to the daily in just a moment. But note the buy signal here at support. Oh, I turned on the bots for the buy and sell signals just so that you could take a look at it just for giggles. I do not use that for trading. Sometimes I'll use it for confirmation, but if you are buying and selling when they tell you to buy and sell, you're going to take a gazillion trades, and that is not how I trade. Now, to the south side from where we are takes us back to one level of support and a potential buy-in area at 140.06. This line happens to be the old price target that we have hit. And below that, 138.46, 136.86. Earnings was right here, and the report was 35.08 billion. The estimate was 33.17 billion, an increase of 5.77. So that was right there. Let me make this just a little bit bigger. So that was Thursday still. Okay, so then we ran up past this trigger point. If you see this, you can anticipate people will be selling because they're taking their profits, and that's what happened. Back up for another run, another level of resistance we have to push through, and we did not. And then we're falling down here. And this, when I marked out this ticker, because I did a video here and marked out the middle of the trend, and that was at 141.61. Now the middle of the trend is at 143.26. But note how we hit and bounced off, which then turns into a support line here, here, there, and then fell through. But that is the middle of the trend at that time, which then turns into another level of support. And now we are here, and this is going to be a level of resistance. We can continue to trend down or follow this line or kind of chop sideways. And then all your buy signals down here because that was support, and sell signals up here. Now let me flip this over to the 1 day, and the RSI is turning down. And wherever you see a price label is where I made a video. And this was the split here when we were riding the highs, and then we adjusted. Okay, this is going to be a little hard to see because I've got this so marked out. All right, we are at 141. Oh, let me see if I can move this out of the way. And let's move this out of the way. 141.95 is where we are. So back to the middle of the trend on the daily takes us to 146.85, and then the upper band at 2 standard deviations takes us to 165.94. If we could make it to here, why couldn't we make it to here? And then here, 175.69, and then above that, that's just in the range of the deviations here, 185.18, okay? So that on the high could take us to this great level, but we're not in the channel. not in the zone, not close to this level. It's going to be a slow grind, but on the daily, we are going up. So that's good to see. And now I will flip this back to the 5-minute, and I'm going to go over 3 other tickers that I also did on Thursday for Murat, and I screwed up one of them. But first, I'm going to recap CLS. All right, so we ended the day today at 89.16. All right, and the middle of the trend takes us to 90.80. I'm not going to mark it. Maybe I will just. All right, 94.97-ish, 97.08, and outside the range 99.23. And what happened here? Oh, good. We stopped the bleeding here. I mentioned a gap to the south side, and it closed today, taking us down to 87.04. We fell down even more, close to the support line. Oftentimes, you're not going to hit it close enough, and that is a buy signal, and the bot confirms that. And 86.52, 84.40, and one other gap to the south side would take us to 82.25 for the price target, and that would close out this gap. But we are moving sort of farther away from it. Again, I like to stay and calculate price within -2 and 2 standard deviations. Anything outside is an outlier and a clear buy and sell signal. Okay, that's CLS. And Murat is liking that ticker for 2025. Okay, here we were. We didn't push up. We fell down to support. And the next one is going to be AVGO. Okay, we went up, triggered the sell, back down to the buy, bought, and right now we're at 164.23. Okay, your targets will be 166.13, 167.52, and we will tickle that gap because the price would take us to 168.82 if we hit that target. But we're sort of slowly going down still. I need us to see a correction to the south to go sideways. Oh, by the way, I said ANE when I meant ANET. I meant to say ANET, but I said ANE, and then I went and looked at ANE instead of ANET. Okay, so to the south side, 106.75, 159.43, and 158.08 to the south side. And the target is 195.78, which represents a 19% return from where we are. Now, I'm going to go over ANE though, just because I accidentally did the wrong chart, and I'm going to show you what happened. And this is a promotion, construction, operation, maintenance, and development of renewable energy facilities. Okay. So we are at 1987, up 2.05%. 2006, 2018, 2030, 1958, roughly 1946, and 1934. So when I talked about this on Thursday, we ran up to resistance, fell back down to support, back to resistance, kind of grinding our way up, but didn't quite get there, went sideways a little, and then we triggered a sell. And then when I marked out the middle of the trend and the median, notice we went through this, we sliced through this line a couple of times. This will also turn into one of your levels of support. Let me move this out of my way. So now today, just for giggles, I'm going to mark out the middle of the trend right there. So we've climbed up just a little bit. The market gives us 2% returns all day long. You can just play 2% and get out. Ride a 2%, buy something low that you think is low enough and pray it goes up. But 2% is so easy all day long, and it beats putting your money in the savings account at Chase, where you get 0.0001% or whatever ridiculous amount. Vanguard was at 4.15%, I believe. And when the interest rates went down, Vanguard is now giving for cash accounts 3.90%. So 3.9 is great compared to 0.001 or 2 that you're getting from Chase Bank or any other bank. But 2% is pretty conservative to make in the stock market. In my humble opinion, everything I say is my own opinion. I don't have to say, in my opinion, every single day. It's my opinion every single day. Clearly, I am not an analyst, and I don't pretend to be one. I just use common sense. That's all. All right, the next one I want to go over is the one I wanted to do originally, Anet. Okay, so this was when Murat clued me in. Price was at 404.97, and today, well, let me do that so you can see that better. So, you know, we were up near resistance, fell back down to support, triggered a buy, grinding our way along this line. So now for your price target, 406.25. Oh no, let me fix this, and I have to go because my sister is calling me. She's buying something at Nordstrom and wants my opinion on something. Okay, 406.48. She really wants the Gucci pair of sneakers and some other shoes, by the way. Okay, 410.22. She's a sneaker snob. 420.08, 425.05, and 429.51. To the south side, $400.51, 395.66. This gap touches right where a gap forms, basically. Oops, delete. You have to get it off of this there. Oh, wait a minute, let me try that again. Roughly right there. And then, oh, no, that starts there roughly and then ends. Let's just do that. Less confusion for me. All right, 382.11 to the south side, but we are right now moving in an upward direction. Let's take a look at this on the daily because you will get different buy and sell signals. We are going up on the daily, the weekly still going up, and on the monthly, oh, overextended, so watch out. People will be taking their profits soon if they haven't started to already. The 52-week high is 431.97. What is my target now? 443.39, and then after that, $500 if you can stomach it long term. But on the monthly, we're cracking. We're going to crack anyway. It hasn't yet. And on the weekly, we're at 406.48. I'm not talking about in post trading. Okay, right here. So the next target will be 457.92. 457.92. What did they say? I've lost it already. 443.39. I'm going to say it's going to go even higher. Okay, that's on the weekly and on the daily. Because again, Murat is tracking this for 2025. Let me write this in here so I don't forget. So it's 2025. This is basically how I chart my tickers, is basically a journal. I think of this as a journal because I'm not going to write a journal and keep track of everything. 439.59 to the upside, 455.71, and fingers crossed, 472.42. That would be amazing. And if we go to the south side, that will take out that gap, that open wound. We got to cauterize it. Just do it. 370.53. That way it doesn't come back to haunt us. 353.34, unless you want to buy cheaper, then you'll want price to flush to the toilet there. 336.69. Back to the 5-minute. Option R to reset. And then when you go between the different time frames, this stuff moves all over the place. It never used to do that, but it does now. All right, and there are a couple of ETFs that I also want to go over. Thanks to Trader Murat for pointing those out, and I'll work on that over the weekend. Have a great trading day and a great weekend as well.